I think they just need to get rid of Potter. They'll probably sack Potter at the end of the season if results don't change.
No, I don't think. No, they don't. They'll stay.
I think they will.
Jose way.
He wants to come
I'm hearing talks today. Hey, even I got a little excited.
3.0. 3.0.
Jose's coming back.
It won't happen.
Okay.
It won't happen.
Surely not.
Hey, listen, but he won't be sacked this season either. He won't.
You never know.
They very much back him. Like they believe in him. You'd think that it was just a flippant appointment. Just because he was like looking like a good coach and he's English, but they actually genuinely look like they really believe in him.
That cowboy needs to prove it to me then. Like,
he's backing him though, isn't he?
No. Once the season's done.
Yeah, no, he will. He won't. I'm telling you right now, he will not.
Why would you say no to Jose round 3?
Because, bro, don't be silly.
I am dead serious.
You just want drama. That's what you
want. No, I don't want drama.
That would be a disastrous
with all of the young players we've just signed. That's a disastrous appointment. Because this plane that you're trying to land,
you're circling right now.
It's snakes on a plane vibes. I see what you're on. Snakes on a plane. And I'm not dashing no chihuahua in your direction. Let me land this plane.
So we agree that Jose got sacked 6 days before a final. Spurs are wrong there, right?
Yeah.
Because he went on the very next job, Roma, showed he can still coach, went and won the Conference League with them. The very same trophy that Spurs were in and should have won, let's be honest, right? So he still can coach. And let's be honest, Roma is a very young team, arguably one of the youngest teams in Serie A, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. A lot of youngsters have been given their opportunity. People love to beat Jose with this stick. And the thing is the reason, if you look at Jose, why he failed at Spurs. 1 second. The reason why Jose failed at Spurs and United, both times he was held back by a board that was not willing to back him. United, he asked for defenders. They said no. Then they gave Harry Maguire to the next guy and all these. Anyway, Spurs, we all know the situation. He wasn't backed. Now at Chelsea, the one club he loves, the one club where he has stocks, the one club where there's a chairman spending money at a wild rate. You're telling me he can't come back and do something, despite him now going to Roma and having still shown he can still coach, not splash the cash and do whatever. Because Roma are still competing in the top 4 spot this year as well, if I'm not mistaken. So they're still doing their thing. Let's not act like Jose's just.
I'm not saying he's washed. I'm not saying he's
narrative.
Washed.
I'm bored of that.
I'm not saying he's washed.
I just want to know why Chelsea fans are so dismissive to their GOAT. Why?
It's been twice. He's playing devil's advocate.
Hey, I'm just asking questions. Are we not here to discuss sport?
You see the way he flipped it to your GOAT? This guy is evil.
Is he not your GOAT?
Listen, he is not your GOAT. He is.
It's a good point.
He is our
I'm going to get on his side.
He is.
I'm going to get on his side. Mourinho's a GOAT.
He is, but...
Ain't he meant to be your best now? I'm on your side.
Yes, but tell me why. Tell me why.
For me personally, with the players that we've brought in right now, these young players, I know what he's done at Roma, but his track record for his career has not been around, we're going to develop young players, especially in this modern generation. We know how he's been speaking on in terms of, modern generation. I don't like the egos. I don't like the lack of work rate here, there, and everywhere. For me personally, I just don't see him coming back to the top level, especially to Chelsea right now, with the way that we're trying to do a long-term project. Like, when have we ever seen Mourinho do a long-term project? It's never happened. Right. It's never happened. So for me personally, with Potter, I'm not saying that Potter's a better manager or anything, but I think he's better suited to the role because he's got a clear track record of staying at a club for a while, Ostersund's, now Brighton, and youth development and player development. So for me, I wouldn't bring in a Jose Mourinho unless, again, it was the final cherry on top of the cake and you're trying to win right now.
So that's what
we're not at that stage. So we're not there.
Okay. So you're saying it might be too premature. You're not completely ruling it out?
It's premature. Very premature.
I gotcha. As long as it's not off the table, I'm with it.
Listen, I'm a Chelsea fan.
I'm watching you closely.
I love Jose Mourinho.
You
got me. Of course.
You
got me here. Now, when he was at Tottenham, obviously I had to wash my hands and walk away. But I will always have... listen, the brother was in a Stormzy video. You can't not love this man. You can't not love this man. Every Chelsea fan has a weakness for Jose Mourinho, and you know what you're doing. You're tapping at them buttons right now.
I'm
trying to remain level-headed. I'm trying to. It's like that poison X. You're always good. That is an X that you're talking about right there, and you know what you're doing. You're trying to. But the thing is, you know that ain't good for my health.
The reason I'm looking at it is because he said that Potter, if he gets sacked at the end of the season, I'm thinking if, as you say, the last maybe 48 hours, I've been looking at Chelsea's window and I'm like, I think I'm starting to see method to the madness. There's a lot of under 25 top talents being signed, and it's almost, I feel like, too talented to fail, if that makes sense. You just need kind of the right coach. I think if Potter, let's say you try and let him implement, but things don't improve, if someone like Jose can come in, and I feel like, I know we're saying, he might not be able to coach them and their egos and all of that. But I think if Jose sees a young group of hungry players who actually want to win, and if you look at a lot of the Chelsea squad, they're not serial winners, if that makes sense. I think he would love that challenge a little bit more. And I think I think Jose has learned from everywhere he's been burnt. If he was to come back Chelsea for a third time, I think there would be a chance of him maybe saying, like, you know what?
Dynasty time.
Dynasty time. Let me just win one title even for a third time, and I can retire in peace. Otherwise, Newcastle's there. Either way, we need Jose back in the Premier League, baby.
Is their plan for the squad becoming a little bit clearer now? You mentioned it in the week. You're starting to see all the dots
on board as well. I saw that.
Cam's is jumping on the bandwagon. But what do you feel? I mean, has it gone from scattergun to visionary? Or is it still fairly scattergun?
I don't think visionary is the right word. It's not a complicated strategy, is it? Do you know what I mean? We're going to buy up the best under 23 talents, and we're gonna give them long-term contracts to avoid FFF. And then if they work out market value-wise, then they're going to go up, and we're going to keep them. And we're going to hopefully win with them. And if they don't work out, then we hope to make a profit. And Badiashile, your guy. That's not an expensive transfer from Monaco.
Malo Gusto, 26
Gusto from Lyon, 26 million pounds, 19 years old. That's not a lot, you know, to invest in terms of the market value potentially going up. And on the 6-7 year contracts, I think they're incentivized as well. So if we don't make Champions League, they get less. If we do, they get more. And of course, when inflation happens with the wages, again, it might not look too bad to have a Mudryk when he's 24, 25 or 92k a week. So I think, the transfer strategy and where I'm judging them is from this moment, because what I always said is that our recruitment team is only coming in now, and we still have some people still to come in for the next window, like Joe Shields, who's on gardening leave from Southampton. To judge Chelsea purely off of their first window, having no contacts and networking done, with a whole new ownership and hierarchy in the summer, and trying to chase other people's targets because we're behind in terms of groundwork, for everybody to kind of jump on the ownership's back and say, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing when he's replacing Rudiger, Christensen, Lukaku, Timo Werner, and trying to rectify awful recruitment from Roman and Mourinho from years past, was jumping the gun. I'm judging him from right now and then onwards, when he's got people around him who know what they're doing. So I think it is pretty clear what we're trying to do. Whether it works is a different question. Because you can offer 6, 7, 8 year contracts out, but if these players bust, like I'm talking, bust, like kind of Kepa, where you're kind of just constantly trying to revive and see what you can find, then you're kind of screwed. So
the one thing I will say though is, like, when I did tweet out yesterday, I think I'm starting to connect the dots on what Bowley's doing. I didn't like how a lot of Chelsea fans are acting like, oh, you lot are late to the party. I was like, no, please let's not act like Chelsea have had like this measured approach of we knew that. No. The first window in the summer was a complete scattergun. We're not going to deny that. And even when this window first started, how you lot handled the Mudryk situation after letting Arsenal do all the tantalising and the teasing, and then you lot just step in last minute, it doesn't seem like a carefully thought out plan. Does that make sense? But what I'm saying is, what I'm seeing now is what you said there, is all of that hoarding of the young talent. Financially, it's spread over a number of years, and it's just a case of, can you connect the dots really and truly? And the thing is I'm looking at it like, you got Reece James injured, now you have an actual quality replacement in Gusto. Oh, you get centre back, Fofana's out for a while. Oh, no problem. I think what skewed it for me was the signings of like Koulibaly and Aubameyang.
Yes.
I think some of those
maybe
those are Tuchel signings though.
Sterling as well, I will be a little bit. Sterling's been left in a little bit of a weird situation now.
I still think he's part of it, purely because Pulisic and Ziyech for me would be first out the door.
Facts.
I think that the reason for that kind of mixed messaging is Tuchel, right? Yeah. Tuchel is trying to win now. Tuchel's not part of what Bowie's trying to do long term. Tuchel is about, I want to win now. I need this player right now to go to that next gear to win. He's all about winning now. He fits the Roman era. He's the perfect Roman manager. Funnily enough, the perfect Roman manager comes in at the end of Roman's time. The guy that's ready to win now, the guy that doesn't want to be involved in recruitment. You want to go and buy the players you want to get, go and get them. I'm not asked. I just want to have a group of players that are ready to go for it right now. And then when Bowie comes in, he
wants a whole
different
vision, roadmap.
But because he's not in a situation where he can sack Tuchel, because obviously the fans absolutely love him. That's a Champions League winner. We've got super Tommy Tuchel. He knows exactly what we need. You have to kind of wait for him. You have to find out who he is first. And we don't really agree strategy-wise. And you have to wait for him to kind of build his own,
I think depth-wise, you've got one of the strongest defences now, in my opinion. I think with Mudryk and Felix as well, I think you've added almost like two what I call X-factor talents, where they can bring you something out of nothing. But the thing is obviously people are looking at like, oh, Modric's only played 30 games. João Felix ain't really popped at Atletico. But I'm like, if it does click, this is the thing, which you literally have a title challenging squad there, in my opinion, if you sign one or two midfielders. I tweeted that last night. I mean, I know we'll talk about Caicedo in a bit, but Chelsea from the top rope is all the drama we need right now. I think if Chelsea were to get someone like a Caicedo or an Enzo,
for 90, you take
the final piece of the jigsaw.
So for me,
you have basically overhauled your entire squad in 6 months.
But I rate Caicedo very highly, but he's not a player that I would kind of overpay for, because I do feel like his profile is out there.
You can get
cheaper.
That.
Whereas Enzo Fernandez, I don't know, but I'm just saying for what I see from
at
Caicedo,
his age as well.
Yeah, 21. He is a special talent, but I do believe that you can scout and you can get someone who's going to cover the ground and
do what Brighton did,
box to box. Yeah, exactly. Whereas Enzo Fernandez, you see that pass. Listen, that guy is very creative, man. He's just like the way that he can spray the passes around, the way that he gives you some goals, some creativity, some grit as well. We've seen that Argentina team, if he needs to tuck back in. For me, that is the midfielder that I'm ready to overpay for.
What role would you say Enzo is? Would you say he's a 6 sitting in front of? He's an 8.
Box to box.
So you would still need to sign a 6.
I don't think Caicedo's a 6.
I still don't think I've seen enough from Enzo
I think he's
to say that
box to
he's
box. No, you
the
don't
answer
think
to
I
your
think
problems.
he can play both.
If I'm honest,
but we can put him there.
And
because Thomas Partey, he can play the defensive midfield role, but he can also play the 8 role as well.
It's a bit like Basuma, isn't it?
Yeah. But he's come in, put in that 6 role, and he's been immaculate.
Do you think Caicedo is worth more than Declan Rice? Because at the moment, Declan Rice's price is kind of dropping slightly to like that 75 range.
It'll probably work out to be around the same.
Caicedo at 90, 80, you'd say you'd pay up?
Honestly, I would. I would.
I'll be honest with you. I might sound crazy, but I don't see it. I don't see the Caicedo noise.
You have to be careful.
I think he's a good player, and when I've seen him, and like when I hit ball possessions one and all, you see that little breakdown on Twitter or whatever. I'm like, yeah, great. But I remember Basuma dropping these same forms, and I'm not saying they're the same player, but I'm like, I know Basuma, when he had to take that step up into a Spurs team, all of a sudden now I'm being told tactically he can't understand the game the same level. We're figuring out, is he a 6? Is he an 8? And that's the issue I'm having with Caicedo as well. I'm looking at him and I'm like, is he a 6? Is he an 8? Because when I saw him for Ecuador at the World Cup, it was box to box, all action. And I was like, I like this.
I feel like he's a Kante.
Then I see him at Brighton and he's a bit more sitting, and I'm like, this can work as well. So do you know what? That's a good comparison.
That's why I want him.
If you're going to play him in that role, and I think if you're going to play him next to Partey, I think that's perfect. I think if you make him the 6 and be the sitter, I think that's where people are kind of misprofiling him a little bit. And I'm like, I don't see him as like a long-term defensive midfielder. Although I do think the defensive midfield position has evolved a little bit than you just being a sitter like an Ndidi. They've become a bit redundant nowadays. I do think you do need to be more in the Caicedo Enzo mold, but I don't know if he's worth that kind of money, in my opinion. I'm like, even Enzo, we're talking about crazy fees.
It's crazy money.
It's crazy fees.
Is this like a drought in the market? Because do you remember a few years back, fullbacks were like this, where you find one half decent one, 60 million, Chilwell, 50 million.
Do you know who's out there that no one's talking about? And he almost went to Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are trying to recruit like madmen. Enzo Lafitte. Bruh.
Who was the founder?
Football Manager.
I saw this brother. I said to you, last season I was watching this random game and I was like, yo, who's this Feeney? I was like, it sounds kind of cool. Bro, he's a baller.
Bro,
the worst thing is he's techie. He's like 5'8".
22.
Dribbling, passing, and he's got that grit about him as well. So I'm like, he could play the 10, he could play the 8. The problem is I don't think he's top 6 ready.
You don't think so?
That's why when I hear clubs like Palace, Bournemouth, I think he goes there and he slots there.
But then, thing is, if he goes there and then he shines, then there's an 80 million price tag on his head.
He goes to one of these top 6 clubs, I feel like he could drown out or just become a perennial bench.
It's a risk.
I look at Scott Parker's situation a few years back when you lot signed him from Charlton.
Quality
player, but went to Chelsea way too soon. It's a little bit
but it's one of those things where
he comes to us. That's where he needs to be. We need a creative.
Oh, so you guys are that club now. Yeah, but then you do what they did with Modric. You take him from Dinamo Zagreb, and then we try and come for him, and then you won't give us to him. My thing is with a player like that is that sometimes you have to take that gamble, because if you do let them go to a Brighton or a Tottenham, see what I've done there?
nasty. I hear it.
Then you can't get them out, because look how much they're pricing up Caicedo. Like, the thing is the only reason why I actually started to look at Enzo Lafitte is because and I haven't like watched like loads of games. I've been just looking around statistics.
You see my tweets.
Yeah, I see your tweets as well. You're a good account to follow. I got a little notification because we got linked with Matheus Nunes. I think Matheus Nunes is so overrated. It's not even funny.
Exactly.
See you and your club. Klopp,
I don't see it.
Klopp hype. Matheus Nunes is
I don't
so
see it.
overrated.
I don't see it.
This guy, I went into a sport in Lisbon. I went into a sport in Lisbon statistics.
I legit don't see it.
Hey, this guy.
What is it that makes him special?
Well, the thing I don't understand is that Wolves bought him for 40 mil and they're trying to sell him to us for 55.
Portuguese Loftus-Cheek, bro. I'm telling you, Portuguese Loftus-Cheek. He can carry the ball a little bit.
That's a bit of an insult, to be fair. Let's continue the Chelsea chat, though. What else happens before this window shuts? Obviously, transfer deadline day on Tuesday night, and then what happens in the summer as well?
Deadline, to be honest, I don't think Caicedo's going anywhere. That's my prediction that I put up on my channel. I think he's going to stay there. I think Brighton are going to hold him down and say, listen, I don't care if you got 10 siblings. You're going to hold that 5K a week and you're going to sit there and you're going to make it work.
To go back to your team after a statement like that is... I wouldn't even let him back in the team.
Are you lot surprised by that as well? That's like
Bro,
almost the first
we reacted to it last night.
I've seen via Instagram.
Yeah.
I've never seen a transfer request via
well.
Twitter and Instagram.
That's the new agents. Like, you could tell it was an agent.
Adrian was like,
Moses. I was like, bro.
Like, he put out the statement as if the bid had been accepted and the medical had
deal
been done.
done.
I'm like,
Forget medical.
I think the bid got rejected.
This is, I'm holding up the shirt to the new club tomorrow, probably.
I picked apart that statement. I thought, let me pick apart it, because this is fun. And I picked it apart in my video, and I said, you know what? This statement, first of all, you've tried to do the guilt trip thing with the 10 siblings. So that's a bit mad.
I'm poor, I need...
The old X Factor story.
I love Mr. Bloom and the family for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I play with my heart. Okay, so I was like, right, so we got the guilt, we got the manipulation. That's tick box number one. Then I went to the whole, I would like to bring in a transfer record. I said, hold on a second. Ain't nobody agreed nothing for your ass. You're gonna eat. You're gonna get my replacement. You're gonna move on.
I would love to get
box number two.
He's almost saying like, they're saying, well, we haven't accepted it. And he's like, no, this is a very good offer. You will accept this for me, and I will go.
I can't see it. I would love
to the club that saved them basically from playing at the top level a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not get my head around it.
Did they not just sign
him
a year
ago? A year ago. No, it was January 2021,
they signed him,
and then they loaned him out.
They signed him, then they loaned him out for 6 months, and then basically he was balling out where they loaned him out to, and they brought him back, and he's pretty much been a mainstay ever since.
I just can't get my head around it. But summer and the window still to go. I know there's typical Chelsea style to still get business done, but
I say that we're done now. In my opinion, I think we are. Unless we go and panic buy and get a midfielder, which I really don't want us to do. I haven't liked the links recently. Onana at Everton, Gordon last summer. Matheus Nunes. I don't like these links. Like, for me, Andre Santos is balling out in the under-20s for Brazil. We signed him for like 10 million euros or something like that. Like, I'm not saying he's ready, but if you've got these players that have the potential to be top players, actually use them. Go through their growing pains. Lewis Hall at Anfield, he gave the ball away loads of times. I'm cool with that, because at the end of the day, at least he's developing and learning along the way.
Player.
Yeah, he's a good player. I'd rather do that than start bringing in these players that are decent, and then they're blocking the path again, and then we're in the same situation a year's time where they're not good enough to actually do what we need to do.
Yeah.
So
I see Chelsea fans gassing up some Andre Santos team talk.
Bro, every time I wake up, he scores.
Are we here already again, yeah?
And
gassing up team talks. Good God.
And with the signings that are coming in both now and in the summer, with your chest, would you say that Chelsea are title challengers next season? Surely, but how though? With all the money that's been spent,
good point.
You have to have that pressure on you as soon as you start.
You can't
spend what? 600 mil?
I get you.
700 mil since August.
Yeah,
I think you're overdoing it.
By about 50 mil. But Caicedo could.
No, yeah, I mean
600M sounds about right.
Yeah, we should be title contenders, but I just want to see that midfield. That midfield rebuild is critical for that, because if you tell me that, okay, we've spent this much, but you're still going to go next season and rely on Kante, rely on Jorginho, rely on Kovacic, then no, we're gonna get bit.
Surely all those guys have got to take a bit of a back seat now, if not leave.
Some of them need to leave.
Two of them have to go. Yeah. Jorginho and Kante have to go.
Oh, for sure, yeah,
100%.
Have their contracts been renewed?
No, not yet.
So they're expiring in the summer?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gone.
Oh, there you go. They're gone.
Some wages.
Jorginho's definitely going back to Italy.
There's some shopping to be done. For me, I would 100% let a lot of players go. Like Loftus-Cheek, I would let him go. As much as I love him, I'd let him go.
He should have
time,
gone.
though.
he
It's
should've
Gallagher,
gone like
Gallagher.
5
I'd be
Hudson Odoi?
getting Gallagher to Crystal Palace on a nice 50 M's, bringing that money for FFP again, looking great. Ziyech, Pulisic, I'd be moving them on for the betterment of their own
Hudson
careers.
Odoi.
I think when it comes to how much, when we're seeing the state of Europe and the amount of the lack of money, I think we've spent more than all the top 5 divisions put
Combined,
together.
yeah.
Then, you know, we have to understand that, you know,
You're gonna
it's
take
hard
someone
times
else.
out here. So if we have to accept, you know, installments or whatever, we have to make these deals happen. We're gonna have to take hits. So Mourinho's not here, so open sesame. You know what I mean? Just
So
what you
title
got.
challenges next season, yes or no?
Ask me again.
No. I'm asking you now.
No, because I know you're looking.
Even with the players.
I know you're looking for your. I know you're looking for your clip. Yeah, you need your clip. This is what this is about. You need your clip.
It does say here. Can
Yeah,
we
exactly.
get a
You need your.
10-minute
Which camera
video?
am I looking to? You need your clip. You ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna get it. Ask me again.
I'm sure we
another
can
point.
clip something up to make it sound like
Valid
that.
question, though.